Good day, people. How are we doing? And welcome to episode number 11.
Yeah,
got it right.
You got it right this time. Yes,
yeah.
Big man.
So, episode number 11 of Down to the Core podcast with me, John, and
your boy Jacob. What's up?
I'm
How you
good.
doing, man? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm always good, man. I'm always good.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. Just dealing with life as it comes, bro. And just like rolling with the punches.
Love it. Love it.
Right, so as we will jump straight in, so like I say, we're on to episode number 11, and so today we're going to go back in again with listeners' questions.
So this is basically up the trough. So it's just like all the questions we've had so far, we've just left it in the trough. So we're like, oh, we don't know. So we can open the trough and just gone, we've got this question here. We've got to respond to this one. So yes. So don't worry, guys. So once again, thank you so much, guys, for reaching out all the questions. It's really helped, and we do try to get as many as possible. But I think there's so many questions, and I think we just get sidetracked. So obviously, this could be our mini goal of we're gonna get better. It's trying to get let's question answer a lot more questions rather than having a debate on one. But that's either way.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for reaching out. Really,
listen. Everybody loves like a good chat, a good debate.
Yeah.
And as I say, I'd say it's just me and you in here. We'll answer things and we'll talk about stuff. We'll probably put it out there, and there's gonna be someone who's probably going to agree, some will disagree.
Yeah.
And someone will say, "Who the hell do they think they are?" And I'll say, "I'll tell you who we are. We're down to the core."
Yeah, we're down to the core. That's who we are. Yeah.
All manly stuff, mate. Oh man, yeah, man. So yeah, man. Oh, bro, listen, you got to laugh because it's better than crying, mate.
Oh yeah, it's better than crying, mate.
It's better than crying. Right. So, what's the burning subject for today? So, listener's question. So this question, I don't know what I was going to lead or was going to lead to. So it's from Martin from Rogues Tattoos.
Shout out to Martin.
So basically, you probably can elaborate more on this because, like I say, basically, he wants to, what's our thoughts on seeing PTs teaching bad form and obviously like the way that they kind of regulated or the way that they're kind of vetted and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think I don't know where we're going to start with this one. So I think like as we're both PTs, we're always, because I always like to say, it's like, I don't know everything. I just know what I know.
Yeah.
I am no expert in every single field of PT and training because, like, if you've got, like, any common sense about you or if anybody who has, like, you'll know that, like, there will be specialist areas for everything that you want to train. Yeah. So if you can have, like, a golf trainer, which is, because anything sports is gonna have like a
different requirement,
like different requirements. But I don't know if he's more so speaking about like within gyms and whatever not. But I think it seems like anyone can probably get like a PT qualification these days.
And I think this is where like he's trying to explain. So I think when it comes to being a PT or training with an individual, it's down to what's the expertise, what you specialize in. So yes, you got the qualification, but that's not enough. Like that's just there just to tell you to keep yourself regulated and to ensure that you are safe to handle it, to train with others.
But are they sometimes?
I mean, some of them you kind of sit there and go, Jesus Christ. But I think this is where you need to stay in your lane.
Yeah, because I've seen some questionable stuff.
Yeah.
And you know what? And one thing I'm not going to do because I'm a believer of like energy and whatever. But I'm not going to put it out. But I've seen things. I've seen things, bro. And like some of the things that I see, it kind of makes me. I'm usually either holding my back, holding my arm, or I'm going, how can you teach that person that? And I'll come think to myself, well, what did you learn, or what did they teach you?
Because
like as you say, you can go and get a qualification offline,
Yeah.
but like it doesn't teach you the mechanics of anyone's body and what they.
It doesn't teach you how to work with people.
No, because like this
It doesn't.
Because I would say that like obviously when you do like these PT courses, it's almost like they teach it as a one size fits all.
And it's not.
When so like obviously when I was being taught, I had to like demonstrate. I had to do literal demonstrations, even though like a lot of it was like I'd known from before, because I didn't actually get my qualification until like later on. A lot of the stuff I'd probably worked out with myself.
Yeah.
And working and obviously training with other people and saying, do you know when you feel it? Do you feel it more there or more there? Do you feel it more here? And like obviously kind of putting angling your bodies in certain ways or understanding that like obviously making adjustments on seats and things and whatever makes a whole lot of difference.
Yeah.
But like I do see that there's some people out there and like I don't think that they should.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as well, I don't know about you, but when you watch other coaches and stuff, like I guarantee some people will probably judge me, but then when you see their exercise, when you see what they're training and you see some exercise like I don't know about you, but I'm like, you see their little niggles and tweaks and you're like, okay, or why you got that person to that specific movement, why have you got them to do the bench press, why? And it's well, because it looks good. I'm like, and you go, no, I think I don't know about you, but I like understanding why I put that exercise for that client's work program.
Yeah.
And you see certain people's executions, or you see them under the bar, and you kind of go, you wince, you're like, oh, I can see the back not popping out. Like that's not the healthy way. And regarding back to your question, like it's good to like you need to do it yourself, learn that movement yourself. But even then, like just because you can do it doesn't mean your client can do it.
Oh no, not at all.
So like for example, like from a squat, so a person who's a lot shorter, their squat game probably a lot better than someone who's like taller.
Who's 6 foot and plus.
Like, bro, I don't know about you, but the amount of times when I used to do like barbell back squats, like my mates, some of them were like shorter than me, so they can just go full range like a lot quicker. Whereas me, it felt like I was going down a slow lift. I was literally going, oh my god, this is too long. Push up, and so again, like even though it may work for some. That exercise may be perfect for someone. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work.
It's not. It doesn't. And I don't think that sometimes like people take into. I think that sometimes there are some people who don't take into consideration that people's body compositions are very, very different.
Yeah.
And
it's even to the state like just because they may be the same size, same height, same build, that doesn't necessarily mean that exercise is going to be beneficial for them. Like I can remember two of the women at the gym, both of them doing barbell back squats, and I saw them and I stopped them and I approached them and are you training legs today? And then then you tell them like anatomy wise, like you've got a longer thigh bone, well femur.
Yeah.
And then she's got a shorter one, so she needs to have heel elevation, so she needs to have like a 2.5 plate to give that extra 2 inches, so it makes it more level. Then, but her friend was like, "Oh my god!" When they both saw the differences, they saw their differences was night and day.
Yeah.
And the pair of them were like, but we're the same height,
and
I'm like, it does make a difference, like genetically wise. We are different. So even like what I always say to my clients when we go on when we set up the chairs positions, I'm like, before you jump on any equipment, you need to make sure I really hit home. You need to adjust the seating plan to what's best suited for you, because like that can either make the exercise way too difficult or just unable to do. So and just because you may be training with your friends, that sound love working training the community, but your seating position will be a completely different position for me. And I think some coaches don't tell them that.
I don't know whether it's like whether they're just either, I don't know whether if they're lazy or whether they get to a point where they're just kind of like bored within their day or whatever. But like I think when you're dealing with, I'm like this. When you're dealing with people, like when you're dealing with people, everyone is very different.
Yeah.
And like some people may have more strength than others, but ultimately people are fragile.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with them as such.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll probably train someone who is brutally strong, who is just like, they're just like, it's almost like they're made of steel, and they'll just like, I've got like clients who are super strong. I've got clients who are not so strong, or ones who've got like real good like stamina and not so much. So I can't train them all in the same way. But so sometimes, like as I said, like I have seen some coaches like getting like someone who is half my size to pushing more weight than I would ever really feel to push.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And then when you so like sometimes when I see that, I have to kind of look the other way. So I'm like, well, they're not paying me, and like I can't keep on jumping. I can't save everyone.
Yeah.
But like it's out there. So like like a lot of the time there's people getting injured or they're getting like really messed up by being pushed more than what they can actually do. So I may have one of my clients who listen to me now, and they'll all agree that like I can't count. Well, I say I can't count.
I mean, yeah.
So like
a lot of my
I'll go 1, 2, and what number we're on again?
Yeah, no.
And,
a lot of my clients go when that's happened to me before, where I've counted and I say 8 and go, that's 9, or I go 10. That's 8, and I think the ones what I've counted extra from, and I kind of look and going, do you want to finish your set earlier? Go for it, and they go, yeah. It's 10.
Yeah, but I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think that's different. That's different in comparison to putting more on someone what they can physically handle, and telling someone you've got more in, because like I can see someone who's about to lift someone way up, and from their first movement, I'll know whether that's too heavy for them or not. Yeah. But like it's, I've got this saying that sometimes like I can see a potential in someone before they can see it in themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
But like me giving someone who is 8 stone 3 plates aside to press and say, I believe in you.
Yeah, you can do I think that's one bit sometimes as well, when people go, no, you can do more. And I'm like, no, I'm staying at that weight, and I'm staying at that intensity. No, you can do what I know you can do more. It's like, I know I probably can, but the fact remain is I don't want to injure myself yet. I want to just get this.
Not even yet, not at all.
No, not at all. But then and I think sometimes like I do, when people are like come up to me in the gym and they're like, oh man benched 34s on the dumbbells today, and I'm like oh, for 1 rep, and I'm like, then I watch their form and I'm like,
but see, this is the thing. What Pete, something what we're talking like, it's always it's questionable. All that kind of stuff is very questionable. But like, where are you learning it from? Or let's say, I think what we're saying is like, obviously, when the PTs are putting extra pressure onto people to do things which their body can't physically do, or obviously putting them in the right direction or the right position to do things. And I was just saying in the beginning that like, obviously, it's to be a PT, it's not regulated.
Yeah.
It's just like you go there for a certain amount of time and then get certificates, and then that's pretty much it. I feel that like with that kind of stuff, that like they need to have, even if after they've got their qualification, for someone to come in and say, right, I'm going to watch you do what you're going to do with this person, and see how, I'm going to give you random people to train. And okay, so give somebody this. I said this. I think this, if I was going to be in that realm of like, obviously, authority with PTs or whatever, and you know what? Not saying I'm the best PT in the world. I think I just like to explain things a bit better. But like, imagine you go and get your qualification, or you're about to get your qualification, and they say to you, right, you have to do a push-pull legs for this person, and you've got to do this for this person, or upper body, or whatever it is. Give them a random person, and that person doesn't tell them what they need to have until that time.
Yeah.
And then that person ultimately kind of doesn't sit straight, they'll twist.
This is
and just to kind of see whether they have got like these skills enough to make that person make the adjustments for that person. Because I think like without, I think like and I see we're probably like a long way from it, and well, I don't know if it would ever come around. But like there are people who have, as I said, got qualifications and got these things, but they don't have a clue on what they're doing, on what they're doing. And as I say, like I think they, you need to kind of like throw something in there just to test. And I
think this is one bit which is now like when you said like look, we discussed earlier. Not everyone is the same.
No.
And I think getting the qualification, they don't teach you the type of client the client you're going to have. Because yes, by all means, you're a personal trainer or online coach, but they don't train you to how to combat a client who has like scoliosis or has a hip impingement, or they have a dislocate, or they've got permanent nerve damage on one side of the shoulder, but they still want to train. What are you going to do? How are you going to adapt those workouts?
These are the questions, bro,
to make it more suitable for that client. And I don't know about you, but like I think a lot of coaches should start doing like assessing their clients first before they even start the program. So how I tend to do with my clients, I always get them to do assessments first thing. I'm like, your first training session, technically your first training session, your initial session is we're doing an assessment. This is an assessment where we're going to find out where you're restrictive, where you're not so restrictive. So that can give me a better idea and go, okay, what exercises are appropriate for you at this stage? So, for example, for like the one I always come up to mind is like shoulder flexion. Like you'd be surprised, so many people can't get to there. They can't get there, but when they put their arms up in the air, their lower back fires up. That's dangerous. So, for example, anything overhead is going to be unsuitable for them. So you need to go, okay, what can I do to still get that muscle still train the lats, for example, but in a safer environment, a safer condition. So, like I said, my cousin, former client of mine, he literally could not get to here. That was his maximum range. So we went right, thinking, okay, he wants to train his lats. I've got single arm lat pull down in that angle so that it still works the lats. But I think a lot of PTs, even online, screen your clients before. Like, don't just, it's all good to get clients and shout out to you, well done. But do you screen your clients? Do you go, okay, what exercises are appropriate for you? And also as well, I think sometimes as well, stop changing workouts. Like 1 week it's this week, 1 week is this week. Get them to do repetitions, because that's like, in order for them to get stronger, they need to be mastered at those workouts. And some PTs I have seen, and like 1 week they'll do like chest press, and the next week they're doing hip thrusts. I'm like, whoa, where's this consistency?
I think like when it comes like to like obviously we've got compound lifts. You can there's like a variation of bicep exercises, variation of tricep exercises. I will change those around because I say they're all going to pretty much work on just the same part, but it's in different areas, and just to find out what's more comfortable. And like you have to kind of run through that. But it's like what you say, but like keep on overly complicating stuff and looking for new ways of way to do ways that look cool.
Another thing is as well, it's like, do you do them? I've seen some coaches that do give clients exercises, and I'm like, do you do them? Do you actually do those exercises? And if the answer is no, I'm like, you've never touched it. Why are you putting that exercise for that client's program, because if you haven't done it, you won't understand like what to expect, what is the muscles working, what the sensations you're going to feel afterwards and stuff. So I think as well, some PTs as well, they need to understand that exercise in and out, like what the form, the technique, what a certain adaptations you may inquire. So do that, and I think a lot of them don't. So I think that's the missing ingredient when it comes to bad form as well. I think another one which I want to branch on is your expertise. So like, I don't know about you, but like we said, like if you're gonna like lose weight for like, or get, if you're doing like a specific sport specific goal, for example, that PT has to be like some expertise in that. So like, for example, like bodybuilding and powerlifting, I can never do that.
Well, yeah, because the thing is, like, you've got like, as I said in the very, very beginning, you have different sports and you have different levels. So I've had actually kind of people who play rugby say, "Can you train my son?" I'm like, well, I can train to an extent, but I'm no rugby coach.
Yeah.
Or what kind of, where I'm like, then I'd say to them, well, I'd need some time to understand where you'd need your strength to be better in. Would you, because like I'm guessing, would you need your strength to be better as within running, within throwing, within pushing, within, like obviously, I don't know what it is. So like like not every sports trainer is the same. And like, I think sometimes like we've gone back to like the whole PT and like training conversation is like, we've said before that like, I don't know whether they're scared of losing custom, and they don't want to lose.
They don't want to lose.
They don't want to lose the fact of earning like a bit of money. So, okay, I can do that for you, and then do it and end up putting somebody in the worst position for the sake of like earning that money for what they're going to earn at that time. But like, as I say, like when it comes down to anything like with fitness and obviously fitness, nutrition, whatever it is, you have to have that level. You have not that level. You have to have that honesty.
Yeah.
There's no degree, no level, but you just have to have honesty and say to someone, I can't do that, or I'm not good. And I think I'm guessing that like, if I'm going to go somewhere and ask someone to teach me or train to do something, and they say to me, that is not my area of expertise, I'm kind of like, okay, cool, I respect that because you're truthful to me.
I respect that.
Can you show me where, somebody who can, or is it something that you're willing to kind of work on to show me? Because like, I think that now I've got a rapport with this person, and they're like, he's honest.
Yeah, and I think that's integral. Like, you've hit the nail on the head with that bit. Like, as PTs and coaches, we want obviously what's the one thing most people want more clients, more money. And so when people go, I need to train for this, I'm competing and stuff, like we're scared to say no. And I think sometimes we need to, like, as coaches, you need to understand that's perfectly fine to say no, because at the end of the day, you're like, that client has put their faith and hard-earned cash on you. So if you don't know that expertise, you can have a chat with them and go, look, that's not my area expertise. However, I do know so-and-so who's brilliant at that, amazing at that.
Yeah.
Go and chat to them. That person, they'll go, I respect you being honest with me, man. I love that. And they'll hold you to high regards. So when someone they do decide, you know what, I'm gonna look into that, I'll reach out to him, or so and so speaking, so like one of their friends is looking to lose weight, like looking to lose some weight or looking to do something. They go, oh, I know a guy.
Do you think, as you just said that there, now, would you think that comes within time, or because like, imagine when you're starting off in any profession that you're starting off. So imagine if you become qualified as a mechanic today, and then you open a garage tomorrow, and now somewhat you open a garage which you can just like do service repairs and whatever. Now someone pulls up with a Maserati, or someone pulls up with a Ferrari. What do you know about Maseratis and Ferraris and Lamborghinis?
I love, like,
yes,
but yeah.
So, and it's more. I've seen the same kind of. I've seen the same thing play out within garages. The reason why I mention cars where not everybody some cars are specialist cars.
Yeah.
Not everyone can repair a Porsche. Not
No.
everyone can repair a Lamborghini, but the high majority of technicians and mechanics know how to change the brakes on a Ford Fiesta,
Yeah.
or on a Vauxhall Astra, or whatever car, whatever run-of-the-mill car it is. And I feel like within training, and when you have like these specific sports, it's the same criteria.
It's the same criteria. Yeah.
But like, there are some people who go, well, I've had no business in all week, so I'll have a tinker on this Lambo.
Yeah.
And then end up like, shearing nuts and making like a real mess.
I think it's the short and long term. Like short term, it's crap because you're just like, I need to look busy. I need to be look busy.
Yeah.
But in the long term, you're like, in a way, I'm less stressed. I'm less stressed. There's no repercussions. I can literally just go, okay, on to the next one. So I think, like, coaches with bad form, I think sometimes it's like understanding that you need to stay in your lane.
Yeah.
So I think most PTs when they first start, like most of their clients will be fat loss clients.
Yeah.
They will be that, and you can live a comfy life doing that, and that's okay. Yes, you want to, when you get more results and get more feet, get more clients and stuff, that's when you can start branching out and go, no, I'm going to expertise in photo shooting or bodybuilding. But I think there's certain aspects of that industry, or just certain aspects that you've got to specialize in. So if someone came up to me and go, I want to compete, I'd be like, I've never been in that world before, so I can't give you my 2 cents on it. So tell you what, I know someone who was been there, done that, worn the t-shirt, they know exactly what they're looking for. Go and chat to bodybuilders, or go and chat to you, because you're that.
And the bizarre thing is, bro, it's like, as much as I've done it, it's like it's not something I like to push.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well.
Because like I will give you, because like and this kind of goes back into what we was talking about on previous shows about, like, obviously with certain levels of, like, the way that you compete or the way that you kind of train and whatever. Like so there's certain aspects of it I don't like, and I don't want to be the person who you last remember to help you doing something, and it's made you go in this direction, which is not great.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, go and speak to somebody. Like a lot of time when people ask me, I'm like, yeah, well, I can do it, but I can advise, but it's not something that I really want to get into. It doesn't matter what my accolades or what I've won, but I just don't really want to get into it.
Yeah.
I'd rather point you in the direction of that person who does that all the time. The high percentage of my clients are just parents or people, like, not just parents, like they say, like the people of a certain age, and like, they just want to lose weight and better lifestyles, better mindsets, and that kind of thing.
I think that's important,
and that's where I'd say that's where my expertise is going to
like you said. But this is where, like, people, and that's good that you're referring, like I said, like, so again, if someone goes, I want to compete, but I don't, that's not my experience, that's not my specializing. You need to approach like coaches who do bodybuilding. Do you know specific ones? I can, like, if I know, I'll let you know. But in my network is it's majority fat loss people. So no, you need to do more research. Likewise with, like, sport specific. Like, I'm not gonna, if someone goes to me, like, I'm doing basketball tryouts, I need help with to make it into the team, I'll be like, okay, I'll probably have, like, obviously I need to, like, that's not my expertise of field. I'll have a few ideas and suggestions, but you need to go out to a coach who plays basketball, who has played basketball and does that line of work, because they'll know exactly what plyometrics you need to be doing, what kind of resistance profile training you need to be doing, what time of football cardio you need to be doing. It's because it's like I said, they live, breathe that world. So and I think PTs need to just be okay with that. If you're not,
I think they do. But, like, I'll tell you what I have seen, and, like, as I said, we're talking about, like, obviously where certain PTs do things with, but, like, I've seen PTs who don't who do things not in the right way, but like they still hold on to their clients. So like, their clients have been doing the same kind of probably iffy form, or they do something in a dodgy way for a long time. I don't. It's so like, which makes me question like, can you just train your body into a bad form to the point where it just stays that way? It's like, oh,
I think it's down to like the trainer's eye. It's you need to watch it like.
so you're trying to say 2 straight times would work?
Yeah. So
Rather than one- so
it's
not
just
one
like,
each
like you
direction.
need to, and I think it's also as well like you need to be 360. You need to like look at it at different angles, and I think you need to really like be in the moment. And like dogs, they live for the moment.
Yeah.
So you need to be like in that moment and like just looking. Yeah, you can have occasional chat and stuff as well, and your mind will get carried away, but you still need to like look and like pinpoint and then especially like or like I don't know about you, but have a quick mini feedback with them after the session. See if they noticed it. So, like,
I think I do mine in between as we're talking. I say, so can you feel that? Can you see? Can you feel what it's doing?
Or can you see? Can you know, there's a difference.
Or do you know what you're feeling for, or whatever? So, like, that's generally the way that I do it. But like, I will you know, sometimes obviously when my clients, they will see me walk around them.
And
so like I'll look from the side angle, front, left, right, and then like I had a client the other day, and it was because I do this thing, and it's like I squint around, and I do this, and it's almost like I feel like the Rain Man. I don't know if you heard of the
I've heard of him.
So like it's like I'm squinting, I'm looking around, and then when he stops, he was like, I was like, what do you do to your shoulder? And he goes, well, I had like an accident on a bike. An accident on a bike a long time ago, and now it's stiff, and I haven't worked it. And because I said, yes, I can see the way that you're lifting and moving. So now we're not going to do that exercise because it doesn't work for you. Now we're going to adjust it to do it like this way, where we can move it like this. And
I think as well, like you need to adapt your approach to it, to how to break the exercise down a bit more. So you need to put it into chunks or parts where your client can understand. And I think some coaches don't do that. They just go, it's this, it's XYZ, and you're like, okay, but that person's not understanding what you mean by XYZ. So you need to put it in a context where they can understand. So one of my earliest clients, he was learning how to squat, and he kept sticking his arse out, and his lower back was frying all the time. And obviously, you're doing the like showing the position, like slightly adduct your legs out and just go straight down, and just like go straight down. And probably giving a bad analogy of squatting as I speak now, but he just couldn't get it. Then you're trying to find like everyday life scenarios where you just do it without thinking. And I literally went, how do you go on the toilet? And he literally went, that form spot on.
But that's no different from when I was trying to show you the lats. Because I think in my head, it's like I actually enjoyed that challenge.
Yeah, and I love that because you literally go, no, how can I make this exercise, even though it's right? How can I make it easier for them to go? I see now. Now I get it.
Yeah, because I want to, you know, what, just going off script, but I want to take claims that when you master that, I'm like,
yes, that's what I mean. Yeah. And I have got better at it. Like there's days now where like I've done it in the shower, and I'm like, oh my god, I've just done it without realizing.
Did you practice that where I showed you the other day, like obviously about like,
so like, doing that and like did that.
Yeah.
And I think I literally came out the shower and I just locked it in my latch, went like that, and I literally went, wow, hello.
Yeah.
Hello. But then obviously because I got too excited, I was doing that, I've lost it.
And then you lose it.
Lost it, but then I did it again.
Yeah.
But I think it's just like you need to just like think of ways to teach them in a way where they can understand. And I think sometimes that where people say bad form, it's probably not necessarily it's bad form. You're just not giving better cues for it.
Would you say that like, not everyone's meant to teach?
Yeah.
Because this is what I'm thinking. I think that like not everyone has that ability to teach, because I think like teaching is about communication, and about relatability, and if you've got like maybe one or even two of those things missing, you're gonna have a hard time, aren't you? And then it gets dangerous. And I think this is probably where we get back to the original question about, like, obviously like coaching PTs doing bad form or whatever, where the communication and, like, obviously like you know what you have between someone else isn't a fit, but you're going to force it just to make sure, you're going to force it for the hour to make it feel like you've done something, when realistically that nothing has been done, and then convince that person that, like, that bad form they did was right, even though because like I've had clients in the past and they said to me, I can't feel that. And I'm like, I don't take offense. I'm like, okay, cool. That just means that we need to make an adjustment again. I want to keep on going over and over and over until we get it, or we're going to look for like a different way. But like, that's just my communication needs to be.
And I think you're right there with the communication. It's similar to what Sam was saying. Communication is key for your clients. So you may think it's a perfect exercise for that client, but physically, it's hurting them. So, and like, they'll only open up to you if you have that communication. And I think that's important for coaches. You need to be approachable. You need to have good communication, because like there's a few exercises from my clients and they're going, look, that's hurting me, or it's not good for my physicality. I like I'm not going to put pressure too much on my, like, I can't put too much pressure on my ankle. So go, okay, let's regress it to something else. Like, so one of my clients, he wanted stronger shoulders, and basically he had permanent nerve damage in his shoulder. So obviously one of the good goats of shoulders is the lat raise, but because he had permanent nerve damage, his maximum range, his range was just not even there. So I was like, right, let's regress it. Let's put it down to something where you just move as far as you can. And he went there. You know, that's all right. And look, so he was a bit defeated, but I was like, mate, you've come from an injury. We need to get that mobility better. And he just practiced that. Then also as well, he wanted a stronger back. Back rows were really like a dump, like the cable back row. Very good exercise. But because again, his arm and stuff, he can get to there, but like he had to like launch himself a bit further up. So we adapted it. We got like a lifting straps, and it hooked on straight away. So we got perfect range. Another thing, and this is a really, really good one. This is where excellent form from a PT with PT. This is a good example. So one of their clients has, like, I think she's got like a painful arm and stuff, or like some form of like arm. And like she's got a hook blade, like a hook grip for a deadlift.
Yeah, I've got some. Those the fitted ones.
Fitted ones. Brilliant piece of kit. Like she used that, she's got a disability in her arm, and every time she just deadlifts, she uses that. Her form is probably better than most of the people that they do deadlifts there.
But in order for her, like for her to get there, or anybody else, what would you say? I'm trying to think of like the key elements of what like a PT or someone who's teaching.
Screening. I honestly think coaches need to screen their clients before, and like I said, communication as well. So
would you say? Because I was thinking, you're going to need communication. You're going to need patience. Would you say screening, and what would another one would be?
So communication, screening, patience, and like be honest with them, because sometimes they're
honesty. Because I think the thing is, I think because you've done this before yourself, where you've tried to teach somebody a move and they just never get it.
They never get it.
Or they go over and over and over again, and then I've found myself in that point where I'm like, I'm going, why can't I just get it? I'm like, that's the reason why they come to you for, because like they shouldn't just get it. And I think, like, you know, when we talk about, like, with PTs and what they do and what they don't do, if they lose that thing of where they're tired or they just can't, they get to a point like, oh, they should just get this. That's where sometimes, like, the bad forms and the way that they end up training terribly comes in, because like they haven't got like all those elements locked in.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as well, it's like we said in previous podcasts, the basics. And I think so many coaches rush to do the fancy ones, the fancy exercises. So the squats, the bench, the deadlifts. Someone go, oh, it's very the simple movements. They're the most complex movements. You don't really know, like they are. We actually break it down. All of them are complex exercises, and in order, sometimes you need to break. Sometimes, like their form, like you said, you need to break it down to their very core exercises.
A lot of time it's just I would always like to say it's just general compound movements. It's like, so when I talk about general compound movements, is everything that you do on a day-to-day with your body. So if you bend down to go into your cupboard to go and look for food in your cupboard, you bend down with your knees.
Yeah.
When you obviously to pull something out the oven, you bend down that certain way. When you're stretching up in the top of your cupboard or to put something away, using your shoulders, you go up. If you're pulling something out, you obviously use this motion. If you're picking something up, like you pick up your food, or, you know, like all those, and I've what I call grain movements, everything which runs within your grain. So if you're going to keep on, as long as you keep on practicing, keep on being repetitive with your grain movements, it's all going, the strength will come. But it's like, say, telling your man to sit down on the toilet to get the perfect, just to sit down.
But I think it's awesome as well. Like I see, you break down those exercises into other exercises to get them similar to motion. So obviously, with the leg press, yes, it's not the best not best. It's a good exercise, but like it teaches you how to press from the floor. So when you do a squat or a deadlift, you're pressing the floor away. Leg press. Hip hinge exercises, you need to learn how to hinge, like squats and stuff, like the seated leg kind of stuff. So you just break down those exercises, the big exercise, into the smaller components of what it consists of. Get them into a position where it's comfy, it's easier for you to do. Then you mash them up together. Then they'll have a better analogy and better activation. Oh, it's like this. So the like trying to do somewhat like teaching someone how to do like Romanian deadlifts and stuff. And you watch them while I do it. I screen their hip hinge movement first, and you kind of go, okay, some hinge movement. You're like, let's regress it down to the 45 hip extension first. Let's just get that spot on first. Understand how to hinge. Right. Let's progress it. Let's add a bit of weight to it, whether it's holding a plate or dumbbell. Right, now you've mastered that technique. Right, let's just do no weight at all. Just do a basic hinge. Spot on. It's progression. So you got to regress first, and I think this is where coaches in bad form, you need to teach the main components of the exercises first. Then when they get into when they really get in a position where the clients feel more adapt to it, that's when you're going to go, right, let's progress. It's always progression.
Yeah. Because like, I think a lot of the time I would always like show someone how to, I'll say, I need you to do the exercise first with no weights in your hands. I need you just to do the raw movement.
Yeah.
So
rather you do that first.
Yeah, I'd want to see the raw movement first before you do anything. Before you start to, especially like if I see you like a little bit uneasy and whatever.
Yeah.
But as we keep on saying, like obviously, like there's lots of things that like, as a new PT or a new trainer, you should obviously be mastering with your clients. Because as I say, there are some people who are going to be a little bit more far ahead. You're going to have some clients who are a little bit more far ahead than others.
Yeah,
I've had like clients who say, "Well, I do nice trainers, like need us to have like a bit of motivation."
Yeah, be a chameleon. Like you work with everyone's limitations.
Yeah, and otherwise, you know, like as I said before, it's like if you try and hit it as a one size fits all, you're going to have a bad time.
You're going to have a bad time.
Yeah,
and you're going to get burnt out. blame everyone or they're not sticking to the plan. And then you're looking and just go, why have you get that person exercise? Like, break it down. And you watch them going, I've seen how you perform that exercise. It ain't great. Or like I said, if you're not comfortable doing that exercise, then why are you putting it on your clients?
Do you think they need to be, as you said before, do you think it needs to be like more regulated? Because I think like obviously because like Martin, who sent in the actual original question, is a tattooist.
Yeah.
So I think because there's going to be lots of professions out there where you know, and it's all kind of ties in together, where there's going to be lots of like professions out there which aren't regulated.
Yeah.
Where you don't get like a qualification to be a barber.
No.
I don't know whether you do. Whether there are probably some like high end, like if it was like maybe Tony and Guy or some kind of hopper who give you like certificates to say, oh, this person's a colorist or this person knows how to do perms or whatever.
Yeah.
But generally, I think on the whole basis that there's lots of like there's lots of kind of professions out there where you just get taught and then you kind of learn yourself.
Yeah, so when I was speaking to Martin, he was saying like there's this thing called I forgot the name of this tattoo art, this fine line tattooing. I can't remember. I do apologize. I've butchered what he was meaning, but it's like the people who do like they tattoo the eyebrows, I think, and so it's called fine line tattooing. And he was explaining like that's a different syllable, that's a different discipline. So you can't call yourself a tattoo artist by just doing that type of work, because that's two different disciplines. It's like I said, like we going back to earlier. So just because you're a coach, that doesn't necessarily mean you can coach someone to do powerlifting show. That doesn't necessarily mean you can coach someone to do a bodybuilding show. Like it's a different syllable. Like so you need to like in basically stay in your bloody lane, stay in your lane, and it's a good lane as well. So if your expertise doesn't match to what the client's looking for, it's okay to say no. Yes, I know when like starters, when you first start and you'll just grab anyone. Like I've caught myself doing that from time to time, but then when you start looking back and kind of go, you know what, in my early career I was desperate, but when I actually started seeing that, no, this is the stuff that I do, I'm okay of turning customers away and going, no, what you're looking for I can't provide. I suppose it's going
to be hard for, like obviously when you first start, and like I say, you just want to get customers.
Yeah, you just want to get customers.
You want to get customers. You want to get clients. So like as I say, like you just that thing when like I just want to have.
Yeah.
I just need to get this person in.
But I think is it the case of like, are you that desperate just to say like to get clients?
I think the people. I think that there are. I do think that there are, because I think like if you're qualified with something. Imagine you're a qualified barber, and now you've got a job in the shop. And what I'm talking about now is like I've seen this, and I've got my barbers have told me. So like the barbers, I've got like a trainee or somebody who can cut hair in the shop, and like now they just want to just cut hair, but people don't want to give them a chance. And then someone will come in with something technical and say, "Can you do this?" And the barber's got no idea how to do that, but they're just going to go, I'm going to have a go. But like sometimes being a barber, that can kind of like really mess up your reputation.
Yeah.
Because if you do, if you go like to like a typical, like obviously like Caribbean barbers or black barbers, and if you mess up a hairline, if you mess up a hairline, it's a problem for you.
Yeah.
Because like now, if it's a problem, because like that guy now knows you as a guy who messed up his hairline.
You will never be forgiven.
And like I've been in before, and like a barber's kind of like messed up my beard, and I've just got the anger is just like just take the whole entire thing off. And I'm never gonna. I'm never gonna go. But at least like my hair can grow back.
Yeah.
But if you twist somebody's back up, or obviously wreck someone's shoulder, or something like that, it's.
So I think it's as well. You need to build, like, obviously you want to get clients, and I understand that, but like you said, your general clients for the time being are just going to be generic fat loss people, and that's okay. You can prosper and live a happy life from doing that. It's just when you start getting your reps in and start getting consistent, and you do your own form of training, that's when you can go, you know what, I'm going to start competing and doing this. I'm going to put more focus onto it. But you don't like I know that exactly how you mean. So I think it's more of a case of know where you are and just start slowly building yourself up from there.
I reckon that comes with, I think that comes with like sometimes comes with experience.
Yeah.
Because I say like in your early days or anything that you start to do, and like you know, let's just be honest. When you see some of these bad forms or the way that people teach things, you know what? You know, I can't say for every younger person who has just started off, it's a higher majority of unexperienced, and like you have to kind of get into these things to gain experience. But like, but sometimes it's the more younger, unexperienced ones who are doing it. But like, who tells them? Because like sometimes like they're in such a place where they think that they, you know, it's like I can't go. I could do, but like, it depends. Like, it's just too much. I can't go and tell like a younger PT that, like, you know what, you're doing them wrong or whatever. And sometimes it's like whether they're going to take it on or not.
Yeah, and it's like, and I think that's where the pride comes in as well, because I've recorded myself on doing certain workouts and certain executions, and I think in my early days, I'd be like, who do you think you're talking to? And someone goes, watch your form. If a PT tells me you need to watch your form there, I love it, because I'm like, thank you. And I think, like you said, it's experience with growth. When you start off young, you're like, I don't need your help. But then when you start realizing, no, I'm gonna invest in myself, invest in my education, and learn how to do it properly. That's when I can start seeing signs. That's when I can start like not picking faults up, but picking that's areas where I know that person needs to work on. And if you see that thing that's still like aggravating a certain movement, you go, right, I need to break down the exercise into the like literally the small components to make that exercise effective. You go, all right.
Do you still like? Because I've said it's something that I do it to an extent, but not as much as I used to. Correcting people when you see them in the gym.
Yeah. So if I like, it's a bit of a.
I will do it, but like as I say, like sometimes I'll do it, but then other times I'm like, I'll just come here to train today.
Yeah,
like,
I think like, and I think a lot of PTs can like back this up.
Oh, sorry. What I would say is like, imagine if you wasn't in your own gym work environment.
If I wasn't in my own gym.
Yeah.
I think it's dependent on the gym.
What do you mean?
So, like, obviously, a little bit of like anxiety, a little bit of nervous. So if I go to like a meathead gym, and if I watch someone and their form is dead, and I'll be like, "Excuse me, mate, you shouldn't be doing that." What did you know? And you're like, "Oh, okay."
Because like I think there's a difference of in your working environment. It's almost like it's almost that's what you should do.
Yeah.
But like there could be, so you could go somewhere else and see it on a real scale.
I think sometimes like you go, oh, you're training that today, like small talk. Oh, you want to try like this way, or you want to like watch their energy. That sounds really very like wrong way.
No, it's not. It's not because because I want to agree. I want to agree the 100% there, because like sometimes it's just into the way it all goes back to what we said before about communication. Sometimes it's the way that you maybe ask someone something. So if I go to someone and tell them that they're wrong, no one wants to be told that they're wrong. So generally what I might say is, I would say, and if like my way of doing something is, excuse me, mate, listen, by all means, it's time to go away and get out your business. But I saw you doing something there. Have you tried doing it this way? if your way can be completely better, but I'd just try it doing this way. And if you don't want it, that's completely fine, and that's what I'll do. But like but like a lot of the time, because I look the way I do, it's almost like I'm meant to know what I'm talking about. But I'll also say to them, like, just because I look like this doesn't mean like, I'm not going to get it right.
I think this is where most people like fall on. Like, you can have someone in completely incredible shape, but they will teach you some bad forms.
Yeah.
Then you will have like an average Joe, an average Bob, who's not buff and shredded 24/7, and they'll actually give legit advice. But because that person
doesn't look
their way, they're like, I'm not listening to you. So you can spin this on so many times. The amount of people, they're like, I hate this one when you're shredded, and people just assume you know exactly everything. But like, you can say the same spiel, but because you're not shredded, they're like, I don't listen to you because you're not big. So like, you can have like power lifters who like are lifting stupid amounts of weight, but because they're not, and they know how to execute certain exercises, especially on the main compounds, but because they don't look absolutely wham, they'll be like, I ain't listening to you. So
yeah, because like the fact of the matter is, it's like so like I've said to like a lot of my clients, and I always use the same analogy. So if you're a scaffolder, like anybody who's listening to this, they'll hear me say this over and over again. If you're a scaffolder, you'll pick up bars and then you'll pop. I'm just guessing that you pass them up in this direction or whatever. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where you're going to have to pass it backwards or twist your arms like this and pass it like this. But if you're doing this, you're going to be the strongest in that position.
Yeah.
And the second that you have to kind of move from that, that's where you're going to realise that, like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not so strong here. But there could be someone whose arm is slightly twisted, and that's the only way that they can pass.
Yeah.
And they could be in that job for like 20 years, and then someone says, how do you do it like that? I see the easiest way of just doing it, like, oh, pass out, and then someone will go this hard, and then teach that person who hasn't got that kind of movement to do that ultimately. And then realistically, if they'd checked out and they're like, well, that person who you've just taught to do it that way hasn't got a problem, he could just do it.
Yeah, but I think this is where as well, when you need to listen to clients' like body, or not listen to them, understand where they're at that current stage. Like, just be honest with them. Like, sometimes you just go, they want to squat, but they've told you both their knees are completely gone. And like, you're trying to just make them understand, okay, but you do realise you're gonna need you need to strengthen your knees for that. So your best friend for the time being is going to be a leg extension, just to strengthen those legs up. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because
you need to be realistic. You
have to be.
You've got to be really honest.
You 100% have to be realistic, and and explain that, like, sorry, but you're not going to be a power lifter at this time. So you can't just progress from doing calisthenics or your Guinness World Record push up.
Yeah.
And now you want to be mix it up with Eddie Hall.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't work.
But but pretty much just to wrap things up as well, guys. It's just pretty much like screen, communicate, and just be honest with your clients.
And patience.
Yeah. Patience. But yeah, should we wrap this up again, bro?
Right then, bro.
Awesome.
Let's leave it there.
Been a brilliant chat. So again, thank you for reaching out for us again, guys. Really, really appreciate it. But yeah, again, you can follow us again. You can follow us at Dan to the Core Podcast, or follow our individual page at jwright.pt.
And you can find me as John Collins.
Awesome. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and see you in a bit. Peace.